Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thanks to the ranking member as well, and to both of our witnesses today. Thank you for your service, and I'll echo what other people have said. We know everybody in your shops are working around the clock here, and we are very, very grateful to you and all of them. We've been talking a lot today about public trust in the vaccine approval process, which we all agree is critical to achieving the widespread use of a vaccine. But right now, people are concerned, as you've heard Senator Murkowski say, as you heard Senator Warren reference. A CBS poll released this past weekend found that 2/3 of Americans would think the process had been rushed if we got a vaccine this year, and only 1 in 5 plan to get vaccinated as soon as possible. So let's drill down a little bit on what the process is so we can provide some of this confidence to the American people. Dr. Adams, last week you told ABC News that you have confidence in the COVID-19 vaccine review process because data safety monitoring boards would not allow a product to move forward unless there is, quote, good evidence that these vaccines are efficacious, close quote. But in addition to ensuring that a vaccine is effective, we also have to ensure that it is safe. So could you please tell us, Dr. Adams, what protocols are in place to ensure that these boards do not stop clinical trials until they also collect sufficient safety data, including for high-risk populations, and what specific steps have been taken to ensure that these decisions will not be subject to political influence from the White House?
I'll be very quick in my answer because this is more in Dr. Collins' lane. But as an example, the FDA generally advises a minimum population size for pre-licensure safety database for preventive vaccines to exceed 3,000 patients. These trials have 30,000 patients in them. This isn't so much about time as it is about events. And we have so many more people, tenfold involved in these trials, that we have the potential to be able to recognize a safety and an efficacy signal a lot sooner. We also have a higher incidence of background disease prevalence. And that's a bad thing, but it means that in terms of getting a signal, there are valid scientific reasons to expect that we will both get a safety and an efficacy signal in a very short order.
Hold on just a second,
sorry.
please, Dr. Collins. Look, I appreciate that, but what people are looking for is administratively, what are we doing? What systems do we have? Because look, if this administration's vaccine review process is as evidence-based and free from political influence as you both are suggesting, why do you believe the leading COVID-19 vaccine manufacturers took the unprecedented step of jointly releasing a public pledge yesterday committing to an evidence-based vaccine review process focused solely on safety and efficacy?
I can give you at least part of that answer, and that's because Dr. Collins and I have been on the phone with them and really putting forward a full court press to help instill confidence in the vaccine process that we know, as Senator Murkowski just mentioned, has been wavering long before COVID.
Okay. And because my time is short, I'm going to move on to another topic. I understand you have something to say too, Dr. Collins, but I want to touch again on the SAVE Act that Senator Murkowski was talking about. If we expect the American public, Dr. Adams, to have confidence in these products, we need to ensure that they have full confidence in the review process. In addition to the general meeting they are holding in October, do you believe FDA's Vaccines and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee should hold public meetings, review clinical trial data, and release their findings to the public before FDA approves or authorizes any vaccine product as they normally would?
I think we need to follow the process because the process works. I think we need to be careful about inserting new barriers in the process because it is just as unethical to
But, and excuse
prolong.
me, just because the time is limited, this isn't a new barrier or a new process. This is the existing process, right?
I believe we need to follow the existing process.
So you support that. Do you believe that the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices should meet publicly, review data, and issue public recommendations for each COVID-19 vaccine that enters the market so healthcare providers across the country are confident giving these vaccines to their patients?
Again, I believe we need to follow the process and engage healthcare providers so that everyone has confidence. Yes.
Okay, because a vaccine is really only effective if people are willing to use it. So I just want to touch on what the SAVE Act does a little bit. Working with Senator Murkowski and Senator Braun, for instance, we've introduced, this is bipartisan legislation that would improve public confidence in the vaccine review process by helping to ensure that these independent FDA and CDC reviews take place in a transparent way, free from political influence, without slowing down the development of safe and effective vaccines. So I just want you both to know that's what the SAVE Act is about. We believe these processes are in place. These experts are used to doing this work. They're independent. I'm going to continue to push for this legislation to be included in the next COVID relief package, and I look forward to working with you with ideas about other ways we can strengthen the transparency of this process and really, again, help the American people understand what the processes are and why you both are so confident that the scientists will be able to do their work.
Happy to
Thank
work
you.
with you and anyone on the committee.
Senator's time's expired. I am going to let Dr. Collins, if you had something to add, I'll give you the time to do it.
Thank you.
Well, just very quickly, you asked about the statement by the 9 CEOs, and I think they were responding out of their concern, which we very much share, Surgeon General and I do, and I think all of you do, that there is this strong public distrust and skepticism, and they wanted to come out and say very clearly, hey, we're not trying to pull something here. We don't believe in putting forward anything that's not absolutely safe and effective. We're pledging this in writing. I hope that added a little bit more confidence to the people who are still looking at this and wondering. I was glad to see the statement.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Collins. Senator Romney.